Hey and welcome back. Today we're getting into Western astrology and star or zodiac signs. If you missed the Mercury retrograde recap, check that one out, and then we're gonna get into it. Okay, so we're gonna start with a little timeline. We're gonna go all the way back to 1500 BCE in the Babylonian Empire, and they were the first to break up the zodiac into 12 equal signs. Each of these signs takes up 30 degrees, and the sun moves throughout them throughout the calendar year, so it's like 360 degrees total. Each of these 12 zodiac signs had names, some of which may look very familiar. So then we're gonna scoot forward to about 400 BCE in the Greek Empire, where Empedocles was creating the four-element symbology. So that's like the fire, air, water, earth stuff. His theory was that the balance between these four elements create different natures of things. So like everything on earth basically breaks down into these four, but in different proportions. Also around this time, the theory of three modalities came into play, which are fixed, cardinal, and mutable, each of which have lots of their own characteristics. We're just gonna put that in our little pocket and come back to it in 1 second. So then we're gonna jump to 280 BC. We're going back to the Greek Empire, and Alexander the Great was like, invasion time! So he sends Greek warriors out to conquest, and they go to Syria and Babylon and Persia and Central Asia, and there are all these new horoscope ideas, and they're like, what? So they bring them back to Greece and kind of mix it up with Greek mythology and gods and change a few names and expand the theories and bring it to the Roman Empire. They do a lot of stuff. So now we have the Greek stuff about modalities and elements, and we also have the Babylonian stuff about the zodiac, and that literally all gets combined into a big chart which maps out the traits of each zodiac symbol. These aren't really like connected to individual people's birthdays yet. The characteristics are just like being assigned to the signs. So that's 280 BCE, and then we're gonna make a big jump to the 16th century, which is the Renaissance. So astrology was like big time in the Renaissance. Scholars cast horoscopes of King Edward VI and Elizabeth I and the Medicis. Also, there was really no distinction between astronomy and astrology at this point. Any developments to astronomy were basically just an effort to get more accurate astrology. So it was like one big thing. So then we get to the Enlightenment period, which is where pretty much all intellectual love for astrology died. There was lots of encouragement of the scientific method, and since there's no real evidence of astrology having truth to it, the only support left was information in, and I quote, cheap almanacs. Sorry, bud. So then we're gonna make a big leap again. It's been all almanacs all the time, but then in 1930, there was a British newspaper that offered astrological insight, and then an American magazine, literally called American Astrology, published the first 12-paragraph horoscope that tied birthdays to the zodiac sign. So this became like mega popular, and newspapers all over the US started running horoscopes. Then in the 1960s, there was another huge boom in interest when a book called Sun Signs by Linda Goodman was published. This was the first to connect like romantic compatibility and finance and how employers interact, all based off of zodiac signs. Then there was another boom in 1980 when newspapers created call lines for people to phone in and receive personalized horoscopes, and then yet another spike around 2008 with the rise of social media, which caused a record number of Google searches for all things astrology. In 2009, a survey of US adults found that 25% believe in astrology. So that's Western astrology and zodiac signs. Let me know where you stand. Check out that Mercury retrograde video and stay tuned for more recaps.